Hello my friends, hope you're doing well. So the first question is that discuss the difference between the grammar translation approach and the direct approach. If I want to distinguish the difference between these two approaches, so grammar approach came earlier, it's about 1890, and it was very new, just the new approaches of learning. So it was really old and have some kind of problems, like it was really boring. For example, students have to write down a lot and they have to memorize a lot of verbs, but they can't acquire the language by just memorizing some verbs or reading old passages, and it wasn't that much utilized in comparison with the direct approach, that when people are in the native situation, in the native country, they can use the language. Language is alive and you can talk with different peoples. You can use your language, so it's not just a remembering in your mind. When you talk it out loud, it really helps you to remember it. So in this case, direct approach has a positive than grammar approach. The second thing is that in the grammar approach, you just teach people who are wealthy or looking for just learn some knowledge about English. But in the direct approach, whoever wants to looking to learn language, and I think it's less stressful direct approach because it's not based on exams and just writing and get out some errors. While in a direct approach, when someone's talked, it's less stress. Even if you have make errors, the teacher could give him some feedbacks, and I think it's less stressful than grammar approach. The second thing, or the third thing, is that direct approach is more about talking and make communication, and also add some cultural aspect of the language, and it's very important. You can't don't know anything about the culture of the country and just talk about that. And for example, in intonation, when you want to stress words, when you want to talk like a native, you have to know a little bit, of course, about their culture, how they look, how they act, but what's important and what's not important in their culture. Another things about a grammar approach was, the good things about that is that's focused on reading and writing. So comprehension is very important there, and making comprehensional questions bring out with this approach. Fill the blank is very important in some exercises. While in the direct approach, you have kind of conversations, but doesn't have that kind of structure. When students write a composition, when they're writing, they can take out the grammatical mistakes that maybe doesn't appear that obvious in their speaking. Well, in grammar approach, we have something kind of back translate, and I think it's not very good approach to use, because you can't, as it mentioned in the videos, you can't translate everything exactly in the different languages, and that's because of the culture. So culture is very important in the language, and that's it. I prefer, let me see what's the second question, which approach must closely align with your current teaching style. Honestly, I prefer direct approach. And most of the students these days have a problem with their speaking and listening, because mostly in the schools, in public schools, teachers teach in grammar approach, and most of the students have a good vocabulary, I can say, but they can't utilize it in their speaking. So this is the main problem of the grammar approach, and I prefer direct approach that helps the students to utilize, to use their own vocabulary and make them connect to other peoples. One of the main reasons of the language these days is not just for writing essays or academic things, but mostly to connect with other peoples in work area, in the international area, for their job, for their resume. They can talk, they can describe themselves, their ability in the work area, or for getting new friends. Even it's very important. So I think each of these approaches have their own benefits, but I prefer a direct approach. That's it. Thank you.